Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queen G, aka Ann, aka Annette. Queen G is my social media name, and the G stands for Glamorous Grandma Gigi. That's what my grandkids call me. But anyway, welcome back. Today I'm coming at you with in the kitchen with Gigi. Today I'm going to be making some pickles from all of these cucumbers that keep on taking over my backyard. I can't believe how fast cucumbers grow. So I'm prepping right now, and I'm going to bring you guys right along. So welcome to my channel. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, would you please do so? Subscribe and then hit that notification bell so that when I post content, you're in the know. And I'll be right back with you just in a few seconds from now. See ya. Okay, so here are the ingredients for my first batch of pickles. These will be dill pickles. I have two recipes. One is going to be for dill pickles, which is these ingredients here. I'm going to go over all of them. And then the second batch, I believe, will be kosher. Now, these won't be the actual pickles. I'm going to slice these like spears. Okay, so these are the cucumbers directly from my garden. I have lots, I mean, like seriously, lots of cucumbers have grown, and I've harvested like over almost 50 cucumbers since I've started this garden June 6th, okay? So here are the cucumbers, the dill. I should have planted fresh dill, but at the last minute I thought about it, and I'm just like, I'll do that next year. Mustard seed, pickling spices, thyme, white onion, sea salt, and water that's chlorine free, so that's distilled water. And I have my pickling jars, mason jars. I love these jars. I actually have some jars that I don't use for pickling. I actually use to make salads. I'll show you how to do that too at a later date. So here's the setup for the dill pickles, and I'm going to come right back to show you the process. Okay, so here's the big pot here that I'm going to create my brine for my pickles. And these are the cucumbers that I've turned into spears. So we're going to have speared pickles, not whole pickles. Those cucumbers were just like humongous, like terrifying. And then I've cut most of my seasonings. I gotta get this onion chopped, and my dill, I just washed that. Pickling spices, my measuring spoons, and I think I'm ready to go. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm about to get started with my brine. You see I have distilled water. I'm going to pour. I'm not really quite sure if I can use it all, but I think I am. The best thing I can do is have too much as opposed to not enough. So this is a gallon of distilled water. It has to be water without chlorine. And salt. So I'm gonna do the sea salt. It calls for salt without it's iodine, so it's sea salt. So I'm gonna sprinkle a tad in here. This is more than a sprinkle, so that's enough. I'm gonna take this and put it on my stove. Let's see if I can turn my camera to meet my stove. Give me a second. There we go. Please bear with me, y'all. I'm new at this. My grandkids are like experts, but they're not here. They're at home or they're somewhere helping their mom with a party today. So I'm gonna put it on the fire and allow it to boil for however long it takes to boil. And And then I'm going to come back with these jars prepped with the seasoning. So I'll be right back for that, okay? Okay, so let's check the water and see if it started boiling, and it has. So you want to stir it, make sure all the salt is dissolved, and it has, and it's boiling. So now, once the water starts boiling, you want to take it off the fire and let it cool off. So it's off the fire, and probably you can take it off the stove, period. I'm going to sit it on top of this and take the lid off and let the water cool off. You see all that steam? Let the water cool off. Let me just get my camera and take it over here. Show you guys. Okay. Can't flip it. Okay, so here's the water. It's cooling off now. And how long does it take water to cool off? God knows, maybe an hour or so. I'm not quite sure. But once it cools off, and then I'm going to pour, and it's called the brine, I'm going to pour it on top of the pickled ingredients. So what you're about to see me do now is to take the dill and put it at the bottom of the jar. And I just washed my jars, brand new jars actually. I ordered them from Amazon, by the way. And these are the 32-ounce jars. So I'm gonna fill the jar with all of the pickling ingredients. So I'm gonna come right back and show you that. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm gonna do one for demonstration purposes only. First, make sure you have your jars. I would use 32-ounce jars if you're making spears. So this is my cucumber that I speared so it can fit down in there nicely. And I have 6 jars. I think I'm gonna use about 3. And if I need more, I'll get more. But I'm gonna do one completely, and then I'm gonna speed through the rest. So the first thing you wanna do is to add your dill to the bottom of the jar. Okay, and then after that, you're gonna add a few pieces of your chopped onions, chopped white onions, and garlic. So I put 2 pieces there. And then you have your mustard seeds. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that in there. And then your thyme, I'm gonna use a half a teaspoon in each jar. And then the pickling spices. Now the pickling spices, they actually say pickling spices. I purchased this from Amazon. Okay, so let me sprinkle some pickling spices in here. And the sprinkle won't do, so let's open it up to the spoon size. And then I think I'm just going to take the lid off. And this is like a half teaspoon. And I think I'll put, because I like rich, robust flavor. And another half teaspoon of thyme. And so here's what we have. We have the dill, the onions, the dill, onions, thyme, garlic, mustard seeds, and the pickling spices. And we're ready to go after the brine is cooled off. So check this out. You're gonna sit your cucumbers in the jar. And then once you're ready, I just don't want them to fall over. I just kind of like want it to sit still. Put it in the jar all around. You don't want to jam the jar packed. And once your brine is cooled off, I'm gonna pour it in here. So we'll show you that once we get to that point. So I don't know how many cucumber spears. I'm not gonna even count them, but I don't want it to be super full. And so once the brine cools, I'm gonna pour it in here, twist the lid on, and I'm gonna do that for like 3 or 4 jars until all the cucumbers are gone. And then once everything is in the jar and it's sealed, I'm gonna sit it outside, probably on my patio or my table in my backyard, and let it sit out there for about 6 days so it can ferment. And I'm gonna talk about that process later in the video, but not right now. So the recipe that I have is telling me that it's gonna take 6 days for this to actually be what I want, but I'm just gonna cut that down in half and say maybe 3 days, and simply because I've sliced the cucumbers into spears. Now, if I would have used whole cucumbers, which was gonna call for them to be baby cucumbers, maybe it would take 6 days because it's the whole flesh and everything in one piece. But by it being sliced, there's, to me, less work required in order for it to become the speared tomatoes, speared pickles. So I'll be back with the brine and we'll see how this is going to work out. Okay. Hi guys, I'm back, and the speared cucumbers, guess what? The brine is ready. Let me go get it right now. Okay, so what I have here is the brine, which consists of water and salt, and the prepared jars. Did that earlier. So now I'm going to pour this in each jar and make sure everything inside the jar is submerged in the liquid. So here we go. And I hope I do not run out. Okay, that's full. Smells good. And let's move these two back, because heaven forbid I knock them over. And I'm like, oh my God, all this work. So this is the 3rd jar. And finally, the 4th jar. Now, mind you, I have 2 sets of pickles going, so it's kind of hard to keep track. But I have to keep everything separated. I'm just gonna fill this up. So isn't that pretty? So just scoop these back this way and fill these 2 jars up, because I was trying to be easier beginning. And then I'm going to fill this jar up. And there you have it, 4 jars filled. Now, you need to put these, or I need to put these on the warm patio. So, with a plate, but I'm not gonna use a plate. This is what I'm gonna use. These mason jars actually came with lids. So these can serve as plates. And I washed everything off. That's just how I am. I wash stuff. So these serve as the plates. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I can screw this on if I want. And I think I'm going to screw it on just so it can be under sealed. But then once you screw it on, and you have to like check it after a day or so and release the carbon dioxide so that the fermentation can still take place. And after a couple of days, this liquid will turn cloudy, and that lets you know that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. So I'll be popping back in periodically to show you the progress of it, but basically this is it, pickled cucumbers. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with these sliced cucumbers, which have a different brine. Okay, that'll be later tonight, because that's going to take a couple of hours to cool off the brine. They're ready to go. Speared cucumbers turn into speared pickles. And these are dill pickles. So I'll have to sit these out in warmth. I'm gonna check after 2 days. I think this will be ready in 3, but the recipe says 6, so let's just see. Bam. Okay guys, I'm out here on my patio with my first batch of cucumbers turned pickles, and they're going to rest out here for up to 6 days. I'm going to give these about 3 days, and I'm going to check them periodically for carbon dioxide buildup. In the fermentation process, they say it takes 6 days, but I'm thinking up to 3 since I sliced the cucumbers. And look at that fly over there already. I hate bugs. I hate insects. Get the hell away. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll be back later with the other recipe of pickles. This is the second day of fermentation, actually about 24 hours ago. So day 2 is today, and we'll go through tomorrow and see what's up with it. Today is the 3rd day of fermentation. Started Sunday, finished up Sunday evening, and today is Tuesday, so it's not even 3 full days, but it is the 3rd day, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's looking cloudy. Okay, all right, gonna be real interesting. Today is the full day of day 6. Started this process on last Sunday, so Monday through Saturday, which is today, is day 6. I lost count of, well, I actually didn't lose count. I just stopped counting, but I was checking every day. So here's today's 6. I think it's ready. I'm going to let you know what the taste is like shortly. Okay, so here we are on day number 7 of the cucumbers. They're no longer on the patio. I brought them in the kitchen. I set them on the kitchen table last night, and I put them in the fridge to get cold. They're ready to go. I had 4 jars. I gave my granddaughter one. She was so eager, and here we go. I'll share with you once I have my first. I don't want to eat a pickle for breakfast. I'll get to it today, but I'm in the process of making more pickled cucumbers, but I'm going to slice them. These are the spears here. Okay, this is it. And the cloudy look, and this is natural. This is normal. This is what the recipe calls for, and this is letting you know that all the enzymes and the doodads that create what it does to keep it preserved, keep it from spoiling, should I say. And that's that. So that process ends